Hello everyone, welcome back to class. Today we will briefly talk about motivating operations. So motivating operations. The term establishing operation, EO, has been first introduced in 1950 and has been used for a while. And then the term motivating operation has been developed recently, and the term has replaced for the term establishing operation. So establishing operation has been reconceptualized, and now people use motivating operation, and the motivating operation includes two concepts: establishing operation EO as well as abolishing operation AO. So we are going to talk about motivating operations including MO and AO. So motivating operations MO are the environmental and antecedent variable that alter the effectiveness of some stimulus object or event as a reinforcer and alter the current frequency of all behavior that has been reinforced by that stimulus object or event. So we'll talk about these two defining effects of MO. So the value altering effect is either an increase in the reinforcing effectiveness of some stimulus object or event, in which case the MO is an establishing operation EO, or a decrease in reinforcing effectiveness, in which case the MO is an abolishing operation AO. The behavior altering effect is either an increase in the current frequency of behavior that has been reinforced by some stimulus object or event called an evocative effect, or a decrease in the current frequency of behavior that has been reinforced by some stimulus object or event called an evasive effect. Well, the definitions are very hard, but luckily the examples are easy. So, food deprivation is an EO that increases the effectiveness of food as a reinforcer and evokes all behavior that has been reinforced with food. Food ingestion, like consuming food, is an AO that decreases the effectiveness of food as a reinforcer and evades all behavior that has been followed by food reinforcement. And another example, an increase in painful stimulation is an EO that increases the effectiveness of pain reduction as a reinforcer and evokes all behavior that has been reinforced by pain reduction. A decrease in painful stimulation is an AO that decreases the effectiveness of pain reduction as a reinforcer and abates all behavior that has been followed by pain reduction. Now we can consider two types of motivating operations. The first one is UMO, unconditioned motivating operations. So for all organisms, there are events, operations, and stimulus conditions with value altering motivating effects that are unlearned. So like food deprivation and painful stimulation, those are considered as unconditioned motivating operations. And temperature change, like your text says, becoming uncomfortably cold is a UMO that establishes becoming warmer as a reinforcer and evokes any behavior that has had that effect. A return to normal temperature condition is a UMO that abolishes an increase in warmth as a reinforcer and awaits behavior that has had a warming effect. Becoming uncomfortably warm is a UMO that establishes a decrease in the temperature condition as an effective reinforcer and evokes any behavior that has resulted in a body cooling effect. A return to a normal temperature condition abolishes being cooler as a reinforcer and awaits body cooling behavior. Now let's talk about the second type. So conditioned motivating operations. Motivating variables that alter the reinforcing effectiveness of other stimuli, objects, or events, but only as a result of the organism's learning history are called conditioned motivating operations, CMOs. So like UMOs, CMOs also alter the momentary frequency of all behavior that has been reinforced by those other events. So, for example, needing to enter a room through a locked door establishes the key to the door as an effective reinforcer, but this value altering effect is clearly a function of a learning history involving doors and keys. MOs of this kind are called CMOs. This is such a short chapter, but the concepts are very important to know. But why do we have to know about this concept? Well, we talked about the three term contingency like A, B, C, but as your textbook says, the reinforcing or punishing effectiveness of the consequence in developing control by the stimulus depends on an MO, and the future effectiveness of the stimulus in evoking the response depends on the presence of the same MO in that future condition. What that means is the three-term contingency cannot be fully understood or most effectively used for practical purposes without a thorough understanding of MO.